She was given permission to stay there for a few weeks, and she just won't leave.
That's not the truth, what he's telling you. This house belongs to all of us.
Is it 6825 Drive?
In today's case, a sister digs in her heels and refuses to leave the family home after her brother legally inherited it. She insists their aunt always said it belonged to all the siblings, and she has every right to stay. But can she convince the judge to let her remain, or will she be forced out for good? This one gets intense.
Sworn in so that you're under oath. If you'll raise your right hands, please, to be sworn in. Each of you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give me in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah.
All right. In the petition, it does indicate the allegation that Miss Collins is a tenant at will. So, Miss O'Shaughnessy, tell me what's going on behalf of your client as to what evidence you have of that and what you're asking for the court to do today.
Sure, Your Honor. Mr. Collins is the owner of the subject property. His sister fell on hard times several years ago and needed a place to stay. Mr. Collins allowed her to move in. She was supposed to stay for 2 to 3 weeks. Oh, I'm sorry, Powell. Mr. Powell let her move in. Ms. Collins was supposed to stay for 2 to 3 weeks, and she just hasn't left. Things have gone sideways with their relationship in that she's verbally abusive and emotionally abusive to Mr. Powell. And him being the owner of the property, he has revoked his permission for her to be there, and she just won't leave. It's unfortunate that we're here today, Your Honor, but Mr. Powell gave her 6 months back in November of 2023. We gave her 120 days back in September of 2024. We told her that we were going to have to file an eviction if she wouldn't leave, and that's where we are here today. So she's absolutely a tenant at will because she was given permission to stay there for a few weeks.
Okay, and so they're family, right? You said brother and sister?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
And so, and this is, does Miss Williams not have any interest in the property?
It's Miss Collins. And no, Mr. Powell was adopted by Irene Powell, who is the owner of the home. And she passed away in testacy. There is an affidavit of heirship, which is Exhibit P3, which was filed with the court.
Okay, I'm looking. That's where I got the Miss Williams, because that was the I guess the witness. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So Mr. Powell is the adopted son of Irene Powell. So he is her only heir. Miss Collins is the biological sister of Mr. Powell.
And she wasn't adopted by Miss Williams, by the Miss Powell.
By Miss Powell. No, she was not.
Okay. All right. And so, Mr. Powell, you're saying it's time, you've given her enough time to get her back on her feet, and you don't want her living there anymore?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. There hasn't been any domestic violence or issues there, or there isn't anything, any current court orders pending on anything for domestic violence, is there?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. No protective orders, anything like that?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Mitchell, why do you continue to stay there if he wants you to move out? What's your side of the story?
Sir, let me tell you something. All of that is not true, what he's saying.
Okay.
Which you done found, my name is Linda Jackson Collins. His born name was Albert Jackson Jr., named after my daddy. Okay. Let's go back to this. This is what happened. It's 6 of us, 3 girls and 3 boys. It's a boy living here now. I got a brother living here. It was 3 boys. He had never left home. This is what happened. My mother, when she was carrying him, the doctor didn't want her to handle a newborn because she had a nervous breakdown, and then she also had a bad condition. My mother died when she was 43. So we was kids when she died. Okay, so my auntie, my daddy's sister, decided to take him. So she took him, and then as time, like maybe a year, 8 months, something like that, about a year, her mother talked her into adopting him, so she adopted him. Okay. So then my mother passed. And so my auntie told my daddy, won't he move in with her and she'll co-parent with him to raise all of us as equals. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I called this house home because this is what she told us. I left something out. She also raised her sister's children, 2 of them, a boy and a girl. They was older than us. She had them there first, and she had a mother there. So when my mother got sick, they told us, when we was kids, they told us she just had a nervous breakdown, and the doctor didn't want her handling no newborn. So that's how she ended up with it. My auntie was not pursuing no children. She didn't want to adopt. She did it because her mother talked her into it, but she wasn't out to pursue nobody or whatever. And then this here thing that happened, it just happened, because see, they was born in the 20s. My daddy was born in 1922. My mother was born in 27. My auntie was born in 27. They believed in doing stuff like that because I'm on Ancestry. So I see a lot of that in the family back then. They believed in helping one another like that. So she told my daddy to move in with her. She was in a rental property at that time. And then she moved out here and she bought a home out here. My daddy stayed here until he died. And she co-parented with him. In other words, she didn't do him no different from what she did the rest of us at all. And she also, let me tell you, my brother have a mental illness. He's been diagnosed with schizophrenia. Okay, my brother run her out of the house, her own house, and the family. I wasn't here. He broke this abuse stuff that he's talking about. Okay, he got a record, a police record. He broke the leg off of the piano, and he run the whole family out the house, including his adopted mama, and took the stick and beat it a car to death, knocked all the windows out. She called the police, they took him to jail, and she was fearful for him to come back because she thought he was going to kill her. And then she had the police take him to the state hospital. So he's been diagnosed with schizophrenia. We get along with each other. We just traded Christmas presents just the other day. It's like he makes up this. I mean, I'm gonna tell you how this issue come along. The house is never had no work did on it. It's been here like almost 60 years. My brother that's in there now, he'd been here ever since he was 10 years old. Cause see, the boys ain't never left home. He's been here for 10 years, ever since he was 10. He's 65 now. Okay, so they never left home. This house only done had a paint job on it and the roof. The ceilings is cracking up.
Ma'am,
what I'm trying to tell you,
it's an interesting story, but I mean, how is
what I'm trying to tell you, he's not. Let me tell you something too, before you Judge Gonzalez. I am 70 years old. I'm older than him. I'm on Social Security. I got 3 chronic illnesses. I get home health care in here every day. If I'm put out in the streets. I moved here. I come here because I was sick.
Right.
And my aunt always told us. She never did tell us that she was a landlord. She never did refer us as tenants. And my auntie always said that this house belonged to all of us. That was the 6 of us and plus 2 extra children.
Miss Collins, apparently she passed away without a will. And so any of her property...
I know that. She didn't get around to make one.
Okay, so all her property went to her adopted son, her adopted child, which is, I guess, Mr. Powell, which is your biological brother, but he is the owner of the house because he is the legal adopted son of your auntie. And so that even though she may have told you that, if she didn't put that in her will, it goes to
Judge,
him
but I ain't
100%.
you know, this law. This is not about the house. He brought. The reason he's mad because I told him we need to fix the house because the gas pipe is being adjusted on where it's going to bust, and he got mad about it. Okay, it ain't about the house there in there. No, it's about him trying to tell me that I don't have a lease. I'm not on no lease or anything. Me and him and another brother share utility bills. My auntie and the other girl that she raised and my another brother paid the mortgage. They paid the mortgage for years and years and years. There was a little bit left there, and he paid that part. They never put a lot of money into the house, period. Now, the thing is, he's trying to evict me for no reason. That is having abusive behavior. He don't have no, I ain't never had no police report for that. I worked for 35 years. I ain't never had no report for being kind of abusive.
I'm trying to figure out if you have a legal way to stay there because you don't own the property. You don't have a lease that's
no, I don't own
property.
Well, you might as well let me ask you this.
You may
Judge Gonzalez, I got another brother. Stay here, been here for over 55 years. So if you put me out, you might as well put him out, don't you think?
Well, it's up to the person who owns the property because you're there at his will. If his will is that Mrs. Collins has become too much of an interference of me being able to enjoy my house, then I can't have her stay there anymore.
That's not the truth, what he's telling you.
Your Honor, Mr. Powell has given her 474 days to find another place to live. She had options where she could go get assisted living other places. She just doesn't want to move out.
Ma'am, look here. I use a walker and a rollator, and I'm 70 years old and got 3 chronic illnesses. You need to be in my shape to find out. I'm on Social Security. Social Security people just can't move into no apartment complex. Okay, they have to be on public housing. And you tell me where they.
So I don't know what the solution's going to be. You have given her a lot of time to find a new place to live. I am going to. What are you asking for besides possession and court costs?
That's all, Your Honor. We're not asking for attorney's fees. We're not asking for anything. We just want possession.
There's no rent that's due. I mean, whatever she's been paying for utilities, that's all going to fall on Mr. Powell and his brother if he's allowed to stay there. But yeah, it's sad, and I know that you may love your sister, Mr. Powell, but it's gotten to this point where you can't have her stay there anymore. And that's your decision. If it's your house. I can't make that decision or judgment of how y'all get along or not get along. And so
we discussed this at length, Your Honor. I tried to counsel him. We tried to come up with different ideas, but it's just gotten to the point where I mean, if she's so unhappy, why does she want to stay? They just need to be apart. So
yeah, if there's things that she wants to fix at the house or wherever she's living, then it's not necessarily there. And so I'm going to grant the order of possession, the court costs, and what's any interest on that until it's paid. But primarily, what you want is possession. But this is a kind of a sensitive issue because I don't know where Miss Collins is going to go because apparently she was with Mr. Powell because she didn't have anywhere else to go. I don't know where she's going from here. And with an eviction on her rental history, maybe that's going to make it more difficult, but it is an unusual situation. I don't know if there's other family members available or what, but I am going to grant you possession and court costs, and that's it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
May we be excused?
What do you want me to set as an appeal bond? If Miss Collins wishes to appeal, she has that right. What do you want me to set the bond at? Since this is a tenancy at will.
let's just keep it the same as what a plaintiff would do, so 500.
Okay. All right, so if she wants to appeal, leave the bond at 500. And so there is an ability to go to county court, but you can't do that without having some skin in the game. So I know that you want to say a lot, Ms. Collins, but I don't know if it's really relevant to the situation. I'm sorry that the situation's going on, but it's got to come to an end. So with that, in the meantime, please try not to argue with each other. I don't want the police involved. Any accusations of not being on medication or assaulting or taking the piano leg and hitting everybody. Yeah, let's stay away from that and just
Yes,
let the legal process work its way out. All right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you.